your beloved superstar is not coming back to the Royal Rumble. Sorry to break it to you, but this is going to be fun. What's up, guys? PushPlayTheDJ here, and yes, the weekend is finally upon us. Royal Rumble weekend, where 30 men and 30 women try to punch their ticket to the Showcase of the Immortals, WrestleMania. Yeah, we're gonna do the usual predictions of who we think we might win the Rumble from the men and the women's side. Maybe it's a SmackDown superstar, maybe it's a Raw superstar. Hell, we might even get some NXT prospects. But we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to go ahead and pick which entry number each superstar is going to come in. We already got 21 entrants for the men's Rumble already confirmed, while we also got 13 and a possible 2 more happening tonight, with between Natalya and Tamina going for the number 30 spot on Backstage, happening tonight at 8 p.m. Wow. Number 30 for the men's Rumble will also be announced tonight. So let's see how good we can decide where each respective superstar is going to come out at during each of the respective Rumbles. We're going to go ahead and have Rumble Roulette, randomize these numbers, and then see if we can make magic happen. But before we do that, if you have not already done so, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Check out some of the previous content, and always be on the lookout for great gameplay, great commentary, great analysis from yours truly. So, all right. So this is not going to be your typical professionally edited, super gimmicky design video that you check out for the Royal Rumble. We're not going to do that. We're just going to be regular, raw, uncut, uncensored, unedited, because I think it's better that way. So, like I said before, we already got 21 out of the 30 entrants for the men's Royal Rumble that's happening tomorrow on the WWE Network. And we got talent from Daniel Bryan, Bobby Lashley, AJ Styles, The Miz, Otis, Shinsuke Nakamura, Big E, the Intercontinental Champion, Lashley, the US Champion, Ray and Dominic Mysterio, Braun Strowman, who just came back from quote-unquote suspension, and the Hall of Famer Edge, who announced a couple weeks ago that he's going to be partaking in the Rumble. So, with 21 out of the 30 superstars already declaring entry for the Rumble, we got 9 unknown talent that is going to be taking place as well. Now, how many of that talent is going to be from NXT? I assume maybe 1 or 2. How many are going to be other, I guess, quote unquote, Hall of Famers, or maybe part-timers? Does Goldberg decide to get in? Should he not win the title against Drew McIntyre? Who knows? Does Kevin Owens get in? Should he not, if he's not the last man standing against Roman Reigns? Who knows? But is there any other talent from any other promotions that might be lurking around as free agents that might surprise us? And for the purpose of this video, we're not going to put Brock Lesnar in, because I truly think he's not going to show up. And I'm sorry, your favorite beloved superstar, CM Punk, I highly doubt that he will make an appearance at tomorrow's Rumble, even though it's widely speculated that he is. But let's go ahead and get into the Rumble Roulette. Like I said, we're going to go ahead and try to pick each of the respective entry numbers for, or first the 21 that have already declared, and then we'll probably decide which other 9 superstars are going to partake in the Rumble. Now, it's strange to me that WWE had made note that certain wrestlers such as Ricochet and Drew Gulak are not eligible because they had, I guess, quote unquote qualifying matches against higher known talent. But to each his own, and I digress that statement. But let's go ahead and get into it. Number 30 in the Rumble is going to be already determined tonight on WWE Backstage. I personally feel that if that pick is not somebody that has not been announced at the moment, I would assume that if it's somebody within the original 21 that have already confirmed, I am going to go with AJ Styles. I feel that AJ Styles is somebody that they would want near the tail end of the Rumble, somebody who is still, very much dynamic in everything that he does. And someone that's very much deserving of having that main event slot in WrestleMania, because we tried to forget the match that he had with Shinsuke, the low blow mania. But let's go ahead and just go down the line, starting with Daniel Bryan, where we're going to just spin the wheel. Whatever number gets picked, we're going to place them there, and let's just hope that we get a couple of these right. Because if we get more than about 5 or 6 right, I think we've done pretty good for ourselves. All right, so we're going to start with Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan, let's spin the wheel. Oh, now, do I believe that this is going to probably happen? I do not think so. But if Daniel Bryan was to go from number 1, somebody who is highly favored to win the Rumble, he does it does provide a good piece of entertainment. Because if he can go from the number 1 spot all the way to the end and then win it, I mean, that's great storytelling in itself. So now let's go with the United States champion, Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley will be at number 15, a good middle of the road position, which I think is very good for Lashley. I think, he'll get enough time to show his strength. I would assume there'll probably be some other bigger guys in the Rumble already. So definitely a good spot for Lashley to land at 15. Now we're going with AJ Styles. I personally feel that he will be at number 30. And he can't be at 1 because we already got Daniel Bryan at 1. So all right, AJ at number 8. I personally would disagree with this. I really think he's going to be near the tail end. I really feel like they want their main event stars to be near, near that 20 to 30 range, maybe even 17 to 30. But like I said, we're just going by what the spinner says, and we're gonna hope for the best. All right, next we got Randy Orton, the Viper. Orton at 18, very, very decent spot. I was probably assuming that he'll be around somewhere between 18 and 24, and I think that the Fiend will be like somewhere near in that area, so that's probably one of my surprise picks. Next up we have Otis. Otis coming in at 21, pretty good position for the blue collar worker. Could be a little redemption for I guess the kind of the stumbles that he had near the tail end of that Money in the Bank run. Now Miz at number 4. Miz has a lot of opportunity here. I mean, holding that Money in the Bank briefcase, as a possibility, he might not even need to be in the match if he's able to cash, if he does decide to cash in. But if not, he has a long way to go to be at number 4. I personally feel that John Morrison might be at that number 4 spot, but the spinner, is telling us otherwise. Next we got Jey Uso, main event Uso. Uso at 13. I personally feel that he's going to be somewhere near the top 10, but if he does come in at 13, can't complain. Got a little ways to, got a little work to do, depending on who comes in front of him. But I mean, main event Uso's going to show up, baby. Now, one of, I would say, the favorites, Cesaro, coming in right after Jey Uso at 14. This is a very good spot, a really very, very good spot for Cesaro. I think that this will put, this will be able to showcase Cesaro as the main event talent that I feel we already know him to be, but he just rightfully deserves some time to shine. And I will say this once, and you might hear me say it a couple times: push Cesaro, push Cesaro, push Cesaro. Cesaro needs a real strong run, and he's more than capable of handling that work. You know, I think he's gotten better on the mic, and I think it's just really time for him to get that push that he truly deserves. Now, next we got the charismatic enigma, Jeff Hardy. And Hardy is landing at, well, once again, I feel like this is going to be a surprise. Some people think it's going to be, you know, CM Punk, which I don't know why. I don't think he's going to show up at all. Others think it's going to be John Cena, which I think could be possible, but I don't know, you know, but we'll put Jeff Hardy there because that's what the Rumble Roulette says he's going to be, and we'll hope for the best. Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn at 16. If Sami Zayn will be at 16, then I really think being in that mix, then you're gonna have probably Shinsuke at maybe like 12, Big E maybe at that 17 spot, or maybe even at like 11. Because something that I've always noticed with WWE is that they always like to keep the wrestlers that are within feuds and storylines, they like keeping them in close proximity to continue building that storyline in that feud. So, you know, we'll see what Rumble Roulette does and where they put some of these other superstars, but Sami Zayn will be at 16. Next up, we have the show off, Dolph Ziggler, one half of the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Oh, well, they say Ziggler's coming at 17, and Dolph Ziggler, he's been having a really good run as of late, so maybe we'll see how long he can last at number 17. Definitely had a couple Final Four, you know, appearances as well in previous Rumbles. Definitely, you know, one to always look out for. Next up, we have the King of Strong Style. As he said, he is back and he's ready to be at the top of the mountain, Shinsuke Nakamura. As Shinsuke can't be number one because that's Daniel Bryan, we spin again. And Randy Orton at 18, so that can't be done as well. Oh, Shinsuke at 6. That's a nice little road to travel, but it definitely is a road to show everybody that, you know, Shinsuke never really lost it. And it's definitely enough. It definitely could give him a good run of longevity in the Rumble match. So 6 is not a bad spot. Not the best of spots, but you know, we'll see what happens. Now we got the Intercontinental Champion Big E, and I'm wondering if they're going to have a match where Big E is going up against Sammy and Apollo, and because I don't see that many mid-tier titles being defended, with the exception of the SmackDown Women's title with Sasha and Carmella, and the Women's Tag Team titles with Charlotte and Asuka against Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. And Asuka being the Raw Women's Champion, not defending the championship as well. It's kind of makes you wonder, like, how many matches aside from both Rumble matches are going to be on the card. So let's go with the Intercontinental Champion Big E. Mm, 25. That's a really good spot. I don't think he's gonna be that. I don't think he's gonna jump in that late in the Rumble. I always feel like they always like having a lot of like meat and muscle in it, like, you know, like in the middle tier of the Rumble. So I think he's gonna be there. But if he does land at 25, that's a very promising place for him to be, because he is one of the favorites to win the Rumble as well. And I think it's, you know, between him, Cesaro, and maybe Daniel Bryan, those are like my top 3 picks. for, Rumble winners. So there goes my prediction there. Big E, Cesaro, and Daniel Bryan. Next up, we have John Morrison, Mr. Starship Pain, coming in at number 20. And I think it's time for Morrison to start getting his own sign, his own shine again. Yes, we have the whole Miz and Morrison connection and whatnot, and we're appreciative of the dirt sheets, but let's give John Morrison, the go ahead that we all know for him to provide. Next up, we have the Celtic Warrior Sheamus. Someone who's definitely had some run-ins with the WWE champion Drew McIntyre. 13's already set for Jey Uso. And Sheamus will come in at number 9. I think it's a good spot for him. I think definitely get a lot of bro kicks in and a couple beats of the boundary, and will definitely show the strength and the stamina that Sheamus has, especially coming back from all those major injuries over time. So I think that's a very, very good spot for Sheamus. Next up, we have the leader of Retribution, Mustafa Ali. I feel like he's gonna be somewhere in the top 10, but number 19 according to the Rumble Roulette. So now Ali's been having a lot of beef with Kofi Kingston, and Kofi is somebody that I have in the back of my head as somebody who might show up, but I know he's injured after having the jaw injury from the match with the Hurt Business. But what's a Royal Rumble without Kofi Kingston? Is it really a Rumble at all? So Ali at 19. Next, we got the Hall of Famer Edge, who I believe is a lot of people's favorite as well. But, now I don't think he's gonna come in this early, but we'll go with Rumble Roulette since Edge at number 5. Now, King Corbin. So we already have probably the majority of the middle already assigned. And number 4 is to the Miz. King Corbin at 23. That's a very, very good spot for him. And King Corbin is somebody who I feel has done such a great job as a heel that it's time. It's time to start considering putting him back in that main event picture. Yes, he had the whole thing with Seth and whatnot, but I really think that he could do really, really good things with a heel, as a heel champion. So, but is it now? I don't think so, but somewhere down the line. Next, we got Rey Mysterio. Who's that jumping out the sky? R-E-Y. Big E is at 25. It looks like it was closer to 26. But I'm not gonna question Rumble Roulette, so. And 20 is already taken as well. Number 7, Rey Mysterio. Good spot. I mean, Rey did win the Rumble. I believe he was at number 1 or 2. I think it's number 2. And he's one of the longest lasting superstars to be in the Rumble, over I think 62 minutes. So Rey Mysterio knows what it takes to win from an early position and surviving in the ring as it goes along. So number 7, I think that could work. Next up, his son Dominic, first Rumble appearance, and he can't be at 20 because that's going to Morrison. And Otis is taking 21. They really want to put him near that late stage, and he won't be at 1 because that's Daniel Bryan's position. Dominic's not going to get a spot in the Rumble. Is number 5 open? Nope, number 5 is the Edge. And that's what I'm saying is I feel like some of these, okay, Dominic's at 3. Now, I really think that number 3 will be set for that surprise entrant. I mean, AJ was at number 3 in the 16 Rumble, but who knows? Now, I feel like wherever Dominic is, I feel like Ray will be right nearby. So 3 to 7 is not bad. But then I also feel that like King Corbin is going to be in that mix because they're all still part of a feud. So, and I feel like Corbin will probably be the one that will be that would eliminate them, or Ray and Dominic will work together to eliminate Corbin. That type of scenario, because that's where it usually goes. But and last but certainly not least, the 21st confirmed entrant into the Rumble, Braun Strowman, the monster among men, the leader of the Strowman Express. And that was exactly where I wanted to put him, at number 10. I think that's gonna be a spot where, you know, that's gonna be the spot where the Rumble starts to get a little bit real, you know, like, okay, now we got a couple big men in, and you know, people are gonna have to try to work together to get rid of Strowman, because, you know, Strowman's gonna be on a rampage. But that also now leaves us with 9 spots, and I personally think that 2 of those spots might go to NXT Superstars. The question is which ones. I think the first one, which will be an automatic shoe-in, would be the Archer of Infamy, Damian Priest, former North American champion, somebody who I believe was rumored to go to SmackDown and be a part of the Kevin Owens storyline, but you know, things always change. And somebody who I think, if you put them in that mix, I would definitely put Damian Priest at like 10 to 12. They always like that big man face-to-face matchup with, like, so if you had Braun and Priest looking eye to eye, you know, they was like, oh yeah, you know, this is something that you can see in the future. So I would believe that Damian Priest will be at number 12. The other NXT competitor that I think I would add would possibly be, it's tough because I would love to put a Dexter Lumis, but then I also would love to put a Bronson Reed. You know, I feel like the thick boy, as they call him, I think he would make a real big presence, you know, in this Rumble. I'm probably gonna go with Bronson Reed, and if I do, I would probably put him at 22 here. It's not, you know, it's not the worst of picks, but I think it makes a pretty good selection. And then, I mean, hell, if you got Big Otis coming in at 21 and then Bronson Reed coming right after that, you know, it's a good way to display the talent that is Bronson Reed. You know, if you guys know him as Jonah Rock, into a main event atmosphere. So that leaves us with 7. Number 2, number 11, number 26, 27, 28, and 29. This is gonna be tough for me. And 24. So I really feel that if Daniel Bryan is gonna be here at 1, then you're gonna have somebody who is not going to be part of the Rumble that long. That person will probably be Elias. So I'll probably put Elias here at number 2. You know, Elias likes to have that intro, takes a long time, and then, you know, he'll do his little singing thing, and then they can start the Rumble. So Elias would be at number 2 to me. Number 11 would be somebody that I think is possibly gonna come back, someone who hasn't been back in some time. So I got a couple suggestions. I would probably put maybe even like put Andrade Cien Almas or Andrade, forgive me, Andrade, maybe even a Aleister Black, somebody who, you know, who hasn't been shown on TV for quite some time. Yes, granted, there was a lot of situations that happened behind the scenes, but if it's something where things could probably would have gotten rehashed, and they want to bring him back out in a new light to kind of redisplay the talent that he has. Aleister Black, who I think will be a great pick. And then if you want to go into the pool of people who will possibly come back, Seth Rollins. But I would probably put Seth Rollins later. But then also, there's been a rumor of a particular superstar by the name of Jay White, aka Switchblade, that might shock the world. And I think number 11 is a good place to have people already invested into the match, and then you hit them with the wrench. So I'm gonna go with Jay White here, and I could be completely wrong. He could be talking all that talk, and he's already signed another contract at New Japan. But I'm gonna go with Jay White. So then now we got 24, 26, 27, 28, and 29 left. The Fiend has to go somewhere. And if that's the case, if Orton's at 18, I would probably put the Fiend at like 28. But then it's kind of like, he doesn't really show up until near the very end, like kind of like a disappearing act in some sorts. So I would put the Fiend at 28. 24. I would personally, if Kofi was to come back, I would love to put Kofi in that type of spot. But I just don't think he's healthy enough to come back. You could possibly put Seth, because I'm pretty sure Seth is ready to come back, so you could probably put a Seth Rollins there. So I'll go ahead and put Seth here. Now, 26 is usually, 26 is usually that pick that can either win the Rumble or that person gets kicked out. And I really feel that Keith Lee needs to come in somewhere in this, in this conversation. Actually, I'm going to swap out Seth Rollins and I'm going to put Keith Lee here. Let's put Keith Lee here. And then we're going to put Seth at the coveted 27 spot. I don't think he's going to win it, but they always say, oh, the most Rumble winners come from the 27 position. And Seth coming back at 27, I think will be something that's really, really big. Now, I truly think that I don't think there's going to be that many people coming back. Granted, with COVID and just the amount of people in the talent pool, man, I just don't think it's going to be enough. I would love to put somebody like Apollo Crews here, who I think is going to be in the midst of a great heel turn, but I really just don't know. So I'll give you guys what you want. I don't think he's going to show up at all. But there's always this speculation that CM Punk is going to come. I have zero belief that CM Punk is going to come. I just don't see it happening unless some shining star and people wish that Punk will come back just one time. Granted, without the fans, it's gonna have people intrigued, and if you hold that to the end, then you have them in the palm of your hand. And now 29. 29 could be somebody that you haven't seen in a while. You could put an Andrade there. You could put an Aleister Black there. I would love to see Aleister Black come in here. To come back and just start wrecking shop once again. So like I said, so you got your two NXT superstars in Bronson Reed and Damian Priest. Is it Damian? I think it is Damian Priest with the E. NXT. And, you know, and let's just say, for example, we can swap those out. I would say Riddle is another person that you could put here. And you can also put Cruz in this position. And then, because it's more than possible, Goldberg, if he loses the title, if he loses the match, Owens, if he loses his match, you know, I don't see Roman losing, and I just don't see Drew losing. So that's why I'm so set on Goldberg and Kevin Owens being in the Rumble as well. So this is the men's Rumble picks. I would say out of all these picks, I think that we will probably get about 6 of them right. 6 out of 30. I think 6 out of 30, I think is a pretty confident number as to where some of these superstars will be. So you guys tell me what you think. Put it in the comments below. Are the Rumble picks here for the men's Rumble? Do you think they're accurate? Who would you swap places with? Who do you think should be in the Rumble? Who would you take out of the Rumble? And who are you really hoping to see? Who are you hoping for to come out and surprise us at the Rumble? Make sure you leave a comment below, and also don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel, and be on the lookout. Backstage at 8 p.m. tonight, but we will have our women's Rumble predictions coming up pretty soon. Once again, I'm PushPlayTheDJ. Make sure you follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/PushPlayTheDJ. PushPlayTheDJ on all platforms, and happy Rumble weekend.